The warm glow of the late 16th century Provence sun streamed through the uneven panes of glass in Michel de Nostradamus' study. Shelves bowed under the weight of books, their spines cracked and worn, each filled with the accumulated knowledge of centuries: astronomy, medicine, theology, and occultism. At the center of the room stood a heavy oak desk, cluttered with ink-stained quills, sheets of parchment, and a mysterious orb that gleamed faintly in the dim light. Michael, better known by his Latinized name Nostradamus, leaned over his desk, his fingers trembling slightly as they traced the intricate patterns of a freshly drawn astrological chart. His eyes, deep-set and sharp, scanned the alignments of the stars with an intensity that seemed almost otherworldly. To some, he was a seer, a man blessed or cursed with the ability to glimpse fragments of the future. To others, he was a charlatan, weaving poetic riddles that could fit any event. But Nostradamus knew one truth about himself. His visions were as real as the ink drying on the parchment before him. Born in December 1503 in the quiet village of Saint-Rémy de Provence, Michel's early life was marked by both privilege and tragedy. As the eldest son in a family of prosperous merchants, he had access to education that few of his peers could afford. His grandfather, a physician and astrologer, recognized the boy's prodigious intellect and took it upon himself to teach him Latin, Greek, Hebrew, and the fundamentals of mathematics and astronomy. Through these lessons, Michel developed a lifelong fascination with the mysteries of the universe. But these idyllic early years were soon overshadowed by the grim realities of the world. Plague was the great equalizer of the era, sparing no family, no matter their wealth or status. By the time Michel reached his teenage years, he had witnessed countless deaths, a fact that profoundly shaped his perspective. The fragility of life drove him to seek understanding in places few dared to look. Though he initially followed a conventional path, studying medicine at the prestigious University of Montpellier, his journey was far from straightforward. His curiosity often led him to study the forbidden: alchemy, esotericism, and ancient prophecies hidden in dusty tomes. As a young physician, Michel gained renown for his innovative treatments during plague outbreaks. At a time when most doctors relied on outdated and often dangerous methods such as bloodletting, Michel championed cleanliness, fresh air, and herbal remedies. His forward-thinking approach saved many lives and earned him a reputation as a healer. Yet, despite his success, the horrors of the plague left an indelible mark on his soul. His personal life was not spared from tragedy. His first wife and their children succumbed to the very disease he fought so tirelessly against. Grief-stricken and disillusioned, Michel abandoned his medical practice and set out on a journey across Europe. These wandering years became a turning point in his life. He immersed himself in the study of ancient texts, seeking solace in the knowledge of the past and the secrets of the stars. It was during this period that his dreams began to take on a more vivid and prophetic quality. He would wake in the dead of night, shaken by visions of distant lands, catastrophic wars, and monumental achievements. What others might dismiss as mere nightmares, Michel came to see as glimpses of the future. One pivotal encounter during his travels cemented this belief. In Italy, Michel crossed paths with a monk who knelt before him and addressed him as "Your Holiness." Startled and skeptical, Michel questioned the man, who claimed to have seen a vision of Michel as a future pope. Though the prediction never came true, it left a deep impression on him. Was he destined for something extraordinary? Could the strange visions that haunted him be a divine gift? Returning to France in the 1540s, Michel settled in the picturesque town of Salon de Provence. By then, he had remarried and begun raising a family. It was here, amidst the rolling hills and fragrant lavender fields, that he began his transformation into Nostradamus. Nights often found him in his study, gazing into a basin of water or flames, a practice he claimed helped him enter a trance-like state where visions came to him. He meticulously recorded these fragments of the future, crafting them into the cryptic, poetic quatrains for which he would become famous. In 1555, Nostradamus published the first edition of Les Prophéties, a collection of 353 quatrains written in a deliberately obscure style. Blending French, Latin, Greek, and even anagrams, the verses were meant to obscure their true meanings, both to protect him from accusations of heresy and to allow for multiple interpretations. The book was an instant sensation, captivating the imaginations of nobles and commoners alike. Some saw in its pages a divine message, others dismissed it as the ramblings of a clever but misguided man. The timing of Les Prophéties' release was no accident. The mid-16th century was a period of great uncertainty and upheaval. Religious wars raged across Europe, the power of the Catholic Church was being challenged, and scientific discoveries were beginning to question long-held beliefs. People yearned for guidance, for some sign of order in the chaos. Nostradamus' quatrains, with their tantalizing hints of future events, offered just that. One of his most famous prophecies concerned the death of King Henry II. In quatrain 135, Nostradamus wrote, "The young lion will overcome the older one, on the field of combat in a single battle. He will pierce his eyes through a golden cage. 2 wounds made 1, then he dies a cruel death." In 1559, during a jousting tournament, King Henry II faced Gabriel Montgomery, a younger nobleman. As their lances clashed, Montgomery's weapon splintered, and a shard pierced the king's visor, his golden cage, entering his eye and lodging into his brain. The king suffered agonizingly for 10 days before succumbing to his injuries. The chilling accuracy of the prophecy cemented Nostradamus' reputation as a seer. However, it also brought him scrutiny. Many whispered that he was in league with dark forces, his visions a result of demonic pacts. Despite his fame, Nostradamus remained an enigmatic figure. He was deeply devoted to his family and his faith, often seeking solace in the simple routines of life in Provence. Yet the weight of his visions never left him. He spoke cryptically of great wars, natural disasters, and the rise and fall of empires. Some of his quatrains seem to hint at events far beyond his lifetime. From the depths of the west of Europe, a young child will be born of poor people. He who by his tongue will seduce a great troop. His fame will increase towards the realm of the East. Many interpreted this as a prediction of Adolf Hitler's rise to power. Other quatrains were said to foretell the French Revolution, the rise of Napoleon, and even the moon landing. His supporters saw these as proof of his divine insight, while skeptics dismissed them as clever wordplay. As the years passed, Nostradamus began to focus more on his legacy. He meticulously prepared his final prophecies, aware that his own time was drawing to a close. In one particularly chilling moment, he confided to his assistant, "You will not find me alive when the sun rises." True to his words, he passed away peacefully in his sleep on July 2, 1566. Centuries later, Nostradamus' quatrains continue to captivate and mystify. Scholars and enthusiasts alike pore over his writings, claiming to find references to events as disparate as the September 11th attacks, the assassination of John F. Kennedy, and even the advent of artificial intelligence. To some, he remains a prophet of unparalleled insight. To others, a clever wordsmith whose works reflect more about humanity's desire for meaning than the future itself. Yet, regardless of interpretation, one truth is undeniable. Nostradamus tapped into something timeless. His quatrains, cryptic and evocative, serve as a mirror reflecting humanity's eternal quest to understand the unknown. In life, he sought to bring order to chaos. In death, he became a symbol of mystery, his words echoing through the ages as both warning and wonder. In the quiet of his final resting place, surrounded by the legacy he carefully constructed, Nostradamus might have smiled. For his greatest prophecy had come true. The world would never stop searching for answers, and as long as they searched, his words would endure.